Hey guys, it's me Priya. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys about if humans have a common ancestor, why do we have different color skins? Even though there are lots of skin colors around now, all our earliest ancestors had dark skin. There are a couple of reasons for the diversity we see today. First, the instructions for making us, the genes in our DNA aren't written in a stone. In each generation, a small number of changes happen in everyone's DNA. So, at some point, someone somewhere must have had a change or a mutation that caused his or her skin to lighten. The second reason is that there are many different genes that play a part in what skin color we have. This means there is a range of different skin colors in a group. Some are dark and some are lighter. Imagine two people with similar skin tone have a child. They might, by chance, happen to each pass on mostly lighter versions of their skin color genes to their child. Now, that child is even lighter than parents. This would work in reverse if they happen to pass on mostly darker colored versions. So that explains why one person or another might have lighter colored skin. What it doesn't explain is why whole populations like those in northern Europe have lighter skin. Simply put, the major reason that whole population of people have different skin color is because there are differences in sunlight across the world. Places like Hawaii get lot of sunlight while places like Iceland don't, and people need different type of protection depending on sunlight levels where they live. Very earliest ancestor lived in Africa, a very super sunny place. There is a nutrient in our bodies called folate that sun's rays break down. If too much is break down, people get sick. Our ancestors in Africa had dark skin to protect their folate from sun. After a while, some humans moved from Africa to Europe. Europe isn't very sunny, which means they no longer needed dark skin to protect their folate, and in fact, dark skin turned out to be very bad for them. Humans get an important vitamin from sun, vitamin D. In not very sunny places, if you have dark skin, you don't get enough vitamin D. So eventually, the skin color of people in Europe got lighter so they could stay healthy. But the necessary DNA changes did not happen because of decreased sunlight, and it didn't happen overnight either. Changes in a population like this is often over the time through something had called natural selection. Darwin's slam dunk theory. Over 150 years ago, Charles Darwin spent many years studying creatures all over the world. He was spellbound by how many types of animals there were and was puzzled by how they came to be. In 1859, he published his now famous book called On the Origin of Species, in that he introduced the idea of natural selection. Natural selection explains how all the types of animals came to be. We encounter examples of natural selection every day. Think germs becoming resistant to antibiotics or cancers that no longer respond to the treatment. Basically, natural selection is how groups of living beings or living things get better suited to their surroundings. With enough time, natural selection can even lead to new types of animals. It also explains how humans with different skin colors can share a single ancestor. How does it work? In Darwin's time, people really didn't have a clue about how natural selection could work. I mean, the fact that a chicken and a penguin are distant cousins is sort of unbelievable, but nowadays we have pretty good idea of how it can happen. Like I mentioned, all the living things have something called DNA, which is passed from parents to offspring. DNA is code of life and provides instructions for genes. Each generation, small changes in DNA can occasionally tweak the DNA and affect how gene works. They are called mutations and they happen pretty randomly. If an altered gene is lot better than the original, then over a time it can spread through a population. This is because people with change have more kids than people without it. After many generations, individuals with new mutation will have replaced those with older DNA. This is a process of natural selection and can occur either in new mutations or on a mutation already present in an individual in population. Now let's think about natural selection and human skin color. Over 40,000 years ago, when some people moved from Africa to northern Europe, their new home had lot less sun And perhaps people didn't make enough vitamin D. After some time, someone had a random DNA mutation that made his or her skin tone lighter. This person now had an advantage because it was easier to make more vitamin D. This led to better survival and more children for this lighter skinned person. After many generations, the light version of gene spread so that everyone living in northern Europe had it. This can happen because in each and every generation, people with lighter skin version of the gene tended to have more kids than those without it. Of human skin tone. One reason why people from Northern Europe have very different skin pigmentation when compared to people from Africa is that they are very far apart. It was very difficult for people from one area to move to other. But humans always moved around. Migration has led to some of the variety of skin color we see around the world. For instance, we know that Ethiopian and Somalis have the mixture of European and African ancestry, and Mexican Americans have mixture of Native American, European and African ancestries. Of course, travel is much easier now. Some places like US are melting pots of people from wide range of geographic ancestries. It will be interesting to think about whether one day skin color will become even more uniform as more people of different geographic ancestries having children. Advances in the technology, our skin tone is no longer a reflection of where we live, but at least we are also wiser about dealing with levels of sunlight that don't jive with our natural skin tone using vitamin supplements and sunscreen. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to hear more from me again, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon before you go. Thank you.